Hey guys, it's Trevor Laird here, and welcome back to this week's edition of Nimera Talk. Now, something really big has happened this week that will delay our AMA overview. The CEO of Nimera has jumped into the chat, something he hasn't done since 2018, and he's got a lot to say. So we're going to go all over that right now. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I am in a very good mood to be able to report this to you because I know a lot of you that watch this are not within the Discord chat. You're just kind of following along with the project through me. But over the last couple of weeks, we've really had a bit of a tough time. Honestly, okay? We've had no NIO Trading. Everything was kind of locked up. We didn't know what was happening with a few things, and there's been some staffing changes along the way. So that has led to all of this insecurity within the group. But a lot of this was solved this week when the CEO of Nimera decided to enter the community chat directly and address everyone's issues. But before we go into that, I just want to say to at Ivan, if you're watching, that we've known each other for years now, and you've been part of the team forever, and we really appreciate you. And we've seen a lot of people hold this position over the years, and you really did an amazing job. So thank you for that, and we're sad to see you go. Now, with that said, let's go into the Discord chat and see what Andrew had to say. Okay, guys, so like I've said before, in the chat, there's been a little bit of negativity over the last few weeks. And of course, we had a little bit of a lack of communication because there were some staffing changes going on there with Ivan. And then I spoke with Andrew privately, and I'm sure a few other people did. And he just jumped right in the chat and got going on everyone's needs. And we'll take a look at what he had to say here. But first, if you guys want to look at directly Andrew's comments, you just go to his username here, Dvorkin, and then you type that in, and you can get a list here on the side of all of his questions, and you could also or all of his answers, sorry, and you could just click to them there. Now, the first one here, the one that he actually entered with was no great profit without some small loss. Now, honestly, I will be more involved in communication with you because community building can develop and attempts can be there to manipulate. He just talks quickly about Ivan leaving and that he fully supports him and everything like that. So that's good. Now, if we go down to his next comment, he says, as I said earlier, the marketing wasn't my strong suit. So everyone sees that's noticeable, and he didn't have those skills. There was 3 CMOs over the years. These are our marketing people, but there wasn't actual marketing. He says, I'll be straight with you. I don't know how to solve this problem at the moment, but there are certain ideas that we do have. And he defends his actions by saying, I didn't refuse the project. I didn't close the company. Every day he works for 18 hours straight without days off or vacations to solve problems, find solutions, and that they do have dedicated members on the team and that he's not alone in this. To be objective, he wants to look at the positive side. We don't have a good marketing solution right now, but this is the good side. We are ready to launch acquiring, which is basically the system that any company will be able to collect in a legal way cryptocurrency for their goods and services. That's through the Escudo license. They have an SDK for channels, so basically companies could take the channel's architecture and build their own version of it for their own needs. The Nimera blockchain, the new blockchain, is pretty much ready, but the problem here is really that we need users within the ecosystem. Now, the next one I want to jump to here took place on the 12th. He did say, step by step, I will publish plans with small iterations starting from the test net and trading of NIO, which I believe is meant to be started this week. And then this user asked the relationship between Claris and Escudo. Now, this was answered in an AMA previously a couple of years ago, but Andrew said, I don't have any company. If you mean the project itself, the relationship is clear. Claris is a developer for Escudo and Nimera. Escudo OU is a company with a license that's out of Estonia, and Nimera is the non-regulated company out of the side for people who don't want to work with KYC or the fiat. Another big one here came from a question that I asked Andrew. The question was, what was the plan for releasing NIO as a live? Was the swap from EON to NIO meant to be live but was delayed? It was a test. He said the swapping, they were trying to get everything going. I'm sure there was a small delay. But he says here verbatim, we hope that Hoboy if I butchered that pronunciation of that exchange, but it is a big exchange, will be listing the NIO ticker. So that would be really, really huge for us. And they will be publishing a plan soon for the testnet and everything else. And on the 12th, this user, Acid Burn, who's one of the original people like me, did ask a whole pile of questions, and Andrew gave some strong, detailed answers there, so I will leave it to you guys to go and explore that. And then we also had here on the 12th a question from a user is asking when they can trade NIO. When is the target date for that? He said no later than 27. And as we know right now, the trading of NIO is live. Another one that I really like here is this transparent emission here. The weak point of the project is really due to lack of awareness of the potential audience and the lack of description of use cases. That's actually what he's working on now. And for example, Andrew says he uses himself channels every day, not only for communication, but for transfers and receiving payments. It's very convenient to send to more than 50 different currencies using one identifier. Now, guys, I'm just going to jump forward here because there's a ton of information. Andrew's really put in the time to write back to everyone who asked a question here with detailed answers, and I implore you to head over to Discord to write a bit more. But I'm going to go down to the question that I really had for Andrew, and that was asking him basically, will EON remain an active traded part of the ecosystem? Can users who are told to swap their EON for NIO switch back and forth? Will it remain pegged to one-to-one, such as that? And Andrew did answer, EON is still an operating token within the ecosystem. It's one-to-one with NIO, but NIO will be listed on other exchanges in the future. And after we move fully to the Nimera blockchain, all transactions will be NIO. And of course, anytime you want, you'll be able to change back your NIO to EON if needed. They're similar to each other in that way. So overall, guys, this is a really, really awesome thing to have the CEO of the company in the chat. Ivan did a great job, but he only had so much information, and there's nothing better than a transparent, direct source. Wow, good stuff there, and I cannot emphasize how important I really think it is for the top of the company to come and talk to everyone who's investing at all levels. They need to be engaged, and that is what this step has been, and it's really, really an excellent turn going forward to the future because transparency and communication is everything in cryptocurrency. Now, another huge milestone that we had this week was the return of NIO Trading. As you guys will remember, we had our EONs. They were being traded on the exchange and on the swap. And then there was this big change off in the split between Nimera and Escudo. And then we had our swap from all of our EONs to NIONs, but then everything kind of got frozen for a few weeks there. We didn't really know what was going on. Well, NIO Trading has returned. And as I said last week, that I wouldn't do any sort of talk about market news until we had trading back on NIO. The team has definitely got that done. So let's take a look at what's going on with the exchange. So happy to be back here. Let's dive right on in. The first thing I want to show you, you're going to see there is still a little bit of EON trading going on with the pairs, but there's really no volume there yet. And of course, EON, as we know now from Andrew, will be continuing its transition from NIO, but they are tradable interchangeably one-to-one. The most exciting thing, I'm very, very happy here to see, is the NIO trading pair. Now, as we click it, it's still sitting around 3 cents, but this market just got established, and you can't actually even buy any for that price point. So you're going to see this most likely move up very quickly. Now, if we look at the order book, the next NIO for sale is around 8 cents USD, but the next big bag is available around 10 cents USD. So we kind of look at that as the next major marker to get over. Now, we were getting up into the 25-30 euro cents, so I think that the people who are holding NIO now know this price point is very undervalued. So I think anybody who's getting any of these is getting an amazing, amazing price. And as you can see, after that last little kicker there, it does dive over $1. And that's what we were expecting last time when we saw how the market was moving towards the swap. Now, if we dive over onto the Escudo exchange, we're going to see that there is a matching pair. So they are tied together there, and they do match the same order book, whether you're a Nimera user or an Escudo exchange user. Now, a quick look over at the Nimera swap. Nothing too crazy, but again, the swap was operating on the Scudo side, and then it got swapped to this whole new system on the Nimera side, and so there was obviously a delay, and it's almost like we're starting a little bit from scratch here, but I will report it as it was. So we had 1,498 euros worth of volume on the swap on the new Nimera exchange, and we are sitting with around 90 grand in liquidity between all of the pools on that swapping system. The system paid out 7.8 euros to people holding funds there, and a lot of that went to the volume that occurred on DAI. Now, if you are wondering about the EON BTC pool, it is technically still there, but don't expect most likely to see this one there for too long. We're going to see NION pairs, I'm sure, pop up here, and NION is going to be the main counterpoint. But again, it doesn't really matter because they are exchanged one-to-one, as said by the CEO. If you're looking to buy EONs in here, though, there's about 60,000 available, but be aware that the price can fluctuate greatly due to the amount of BTC and EON being in here being very small. The more there is, the more stability happens in the price. Now, the team has said, if we go back to the Nimera exchange, that yes, they've started out with NION USD, but there will be more pairs coming over time. They're just starting nice and slow. So again, to reiterate, as you can see there, the markets are there, but they have not really been established yet. We had everything really building up on the swap for EON, some great weekly volumes there, but it's time to get that back going again on the exchange. Now, the team has said that they will be introducing more pairs, but they're going to let the market establish itself slowly first, and then we will move up from there with additional pairs once that happens. So that's a call out to everyone else that if you do have the opportunity to, let's get some orders in that book and start filling everything up again. Now, looking at global cryptocurrency market news, the fluctuation between the 30 grand price point for BTC and the 35 peak that we had over the last few weeks continues to bounce back and forth, with 30 seemingly being the bottom. Anytime we dip below 30, it continues to bounce up. We have multiple resistance levels that have occurred there. And I mean, it's a really big slide. If you're looking to enter BTC, do so at your own risk, because a lot could happen right now. We really have to get over 40 grand to see a resurgence going for a price moving up. Now, a couple of other sliders this week. ETH down 10% in the last 7 days. This is a bit of a surprising one with ETH 2.0 on the horizon, and another surprising one was also DOT. But I think what we're seeing here is generally we get into that bear market, we see some bull resistance, and then it continues to slide a little bit until we figure out if the market has stabilization and this bear market is over. Well, guys and girls, that's all I have for you for the week. Now, one thing I do want to bring out with the EON giveaway contest, as I said, I had paused that contest due to us not having trading occurring on EON or NION in any significant way. Everything was kind of frozen up. Now we have NION trading going on, so we will do a NION giveaway contest, but we do have to wait a few weeks for the market to establish itself so we can get a price. But yes, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate you guys watching. It's great if you share these videos as well. I know it's been a bit of a down few weeks not knowing exactly what's going on, but I am really hoping that this week is a massive turn for the NION project, and we could build ourselves back up in a more positive way from here. For Nimera Talk, I'm Trevor Laird.